Hi, this is Meghan Falcone.
Josh Brenner in the house.
And Seth Brenner.
Happy 1 year anniversary!
Yay!
Wow. Wow, we did it.
Now we gotta get rid of these. I worry the sound might bounce off them strangely. I thought it would be fun to start today's conversation with looking back over the past year. What's changed? What hasn't changed?
What's exactly the same?
So, Seth, what's changed for you since we started the podcast?
Wait, hold on. Just in case the people at home don't know, but I also don't know. This is 1 year since the first episode was released?
June 15th was our first episode release.
Okay.
So it's pretty close to 1
And
year.
how many episodes is this? 100?
Like 50?
2,000?
Well, I mean, probably 52.
Right around.
Around.
No, because we took
some
winter break.
times
Didn't we do winter break?
Oh, I missed that.
It's been a long year.
We could use a vacation around here at Seth and the City Pod.
Seth,
All right, go ahead.
What's changed for you since we started doing the podcast?
I'm not going to lie. Not a whole lot.
Have things gotten harder?
No.
Oh, I thought you might say yes because some people won't date you because you have a podcast about dating.
That's
Really leading the witness.
I'd say that's the least of my problems in the dating world.
What's the biggest problem right now?
I'm the biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
Number 2 is I still haven't gotten into my sublet.
Oh, is that right? You're still living with us?
I am still...
Because I left for a while and I just assumed that it would be over, but you're still... Now, I was gone for a few days. You guys just sort of carry on as though you're married. You guys went to a James Taylor concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
Which was lovely.
Yeah, we had a great time.
What else? You had dinner.
I sat at meals with Seth and watched him text women.
Pretty much.
You really lock into the phone when you're on the apps in a way that... Well, you're always a little bit locked in because you're like fielding medical questions from everyone you know. But when you're on the apps, it's different. You're really in the phone.
It's a problem. I'm aware of it.
I'll tell you a new problem you have, which is that you think that by saying you're aware of your problems, you don't have to do anything about them.
No, that's the first step. That's
yeah,
the
but
first
then
step.
you have to get to the second step.
The first step is continually admitting you
Yeah.
have a problem.
For a year.
And now I said I wanted to do a year retrospective, and then you really took over the questioning here, but I have more to say.
The thing that I need to work on is steamrolling the podcast. And I admit that.
Well, I was going to say that when we started this...
So anyways.
when we started this podcast, it was because we were in the middle of the WGA strike. The SAG strike was about to start. And so those strikes are over, but do you feel like anything's changed?
Seth? Thoughts?
It's hot in here today. Uncomfortable.
We thought we would have to stop the podcast after the strikes were over because there would
we'd
be so much
busy.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's never been less work
We could
in
be doing
Hollywood.
daily episodes of the podcast. Are you available?
Yeah, unfortunately I am.
No, come on, you're working. You're busy.
I do have the job.
Okay, well, here's the final thing I wanted to say.
So far, this has been really good stuff.
Last year, this is the one thing that's changed. Taylor Swift was number 10 on the Billboard 100 charts in June. But this year, she's dominating almost all of the top 40 spots.
You brought that up as though it's something that we regularly reference.
That's true. All right, we can move on. No one else cares about this year in...
This has been
The
year
year.
in review.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Happy anniversary.
They say that most podcasts don't last longer than one episode.
Who says that?
It's a thing that I hear on this other podcast that I listen to.
Which podcast?
Thinking Poker. Highly recommend, by the way.
All right, I'm going to move us along. I've got notes here.
Gosh, we as sharp as we've ever been 1 year in.
I will say, I'm going to say something that's going to put you on the spot, and it's bad. When we were together and you were constantly texting women, I did see some of the texts you sent. And I think, like, you were making plans with a woman, and the last message you sent to her was like, see you tonight, get excited. I felt like that was a little, like...
You looked at Seth's screen.
Yeah, it was
All right,
out.
so I know what Seth's getting for his 1 year anniversary gift. One of those...
Screen protectors.
Screen protectors where you can't see what people are doing.
Yeah, this is pretty violating.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring it up.
Sorry, not sorry?
No, I am sorry. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't an intentional. It was just like, oh, he seems so obsessed with what's going on with the screen. Like, I better look.
Ah, I see.
Get excited.
I think it's
fun.
a weird way to end it.
It's funny.
That's a really high bar.
Well, I think it's super funny if the last thing that was said was very boring. So if it was like, oh, by the way, like, parking's a nightmare in the area, so, like, get there early or something like that. and then get excited, then I'm more on board. It's just so tonal. The texting is very hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Have you guys had a phone call, you and this person?
Can we just get to Relationship Corner, the jingle? Because I really like
wanna
that
give
part
it
of the
to-
show.
All right, well, it's time for
Relationship Corner!
Gross.
This relationship corner is an email from a listener. Just a reminder, we need you to send us emails, texts, or DMs on our podcast page, on our Instagram, on our TikTok, on our Gmail. So this
Hey,
is
click like and subscribe. Leave
Yeah.
us a review.
this relationship corner is predominantly an advice relationship corner, and it feels like some of it comes from a personal place, but this person very genuinely and repeatedly wanted to be referred to as anonymous, so I think they weren't willing to personalize it. But
Okay.
just imagine the person behind these words. Okay, for starters, I found this podcast last week.
Oh, wow. And welcome.
I binged it to get all caught up,
Wow.
Whoa.
That's not an insignificant time commitment.
and I absolutely love it. So far, it's going great. I
Wow.
can cry.
Thank you so much. We clearly needed this.
I have a few things to say now that I'm caught up. One, Meghan, never change. Your jokes are so funny, and I love how you and Josh feed off each other to roast Seth. I needed this.
From Megan F.
Okay. Moving on. Two.
I don't know why, but I thought that was so funny.
We've lost it. Seth, okay, so this is the relationship corner part. The other part just really made us feel good, and we need that on our 1-year birthday.
We do.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Seth, if you're not into a girl, let her know. Don't try to fade away or tell her you want to get together again with absolutely no intention of doing so. This can give a girl mixed signals. Instead, say something like, I had a lot of fun, though I don't see this going anywhere.
Is she saying in person?
Sounds like in
Sounds
person.
like in person. Quick gut reaction. How do you feel?
No.
But-
Disagree.
But is it working?
Is what working?
Your way?
Yes, it's working fine.
Are you open to other ways?
Yeah, I'm certainly open to anything.
This person says, this lets a girl know how you feel, and I personally would much rather have this than be left guessing.
That's totally fair. Fast forwarding a little bit, I got a very uncomfortable text message from someone.
Did they say get excited?
Okay. Maybe stop reading my texts.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's good
You know
note.
what? I can take that feedback, and I will incorporate it into my life and stop reading your texts. I shouldn't have. I regret it. It was a mistake, and I'm going to grow and change.
Okay.
Just like you.
Oh, there's a little
Question
inflection up there.
Okay, point number 3 from Anonymous. Look for women who you can actually see a future with. Anyone
Yes,
who you
agreed.
wouldn't want to spend the rest of your life with is not someone for you. Focus on your goals and what you are wanting. The right girl will eventually come. Thanks for making me laugh, Anonymous.
I agree with part 3 of this. I agree with part 1 of this. Part 2, you don't owe these people anything. They don't owe me anything. It
Yeah, but
is-
you've just spent an hour or more of your life.
And I'm supposed to just be like, oh, you seem great, but no.
Okay, let me ask you a question. In your professional life, if something happens that you don't like, how do you deal with it? Let's say in your professional life.
He just lets them die. It's the same thing.
It is quite
It's the
literally
same thing.
identical.
You ever announce a time of death on one of your relationships?
No, but I can start doing that very soon.
Side note for Josh. One episode you mentioned semantics, and all I could hear is, "This is the greatest day of my life," relishing chuckle. It made me laugh. Huge fan of your work as Donnie and Mark Beeks.
Wow. Thank you very much for
Wow.
reading that out loud.
Well, thank you for your great work as Donnie and Mark Beeks.
Thanks for writing in.
Put on the
Seth's
animated-
reading your text.
Yeah, you can read it.
I'm sure there's compliments about you, Seth.
Everyone thinks you're charming.
You are charming.
I'm something. We just don't know exactly what.
This has
has
been
Ah.
Relationship Corner!
Josh and I know some things that are happening behind the scenes. Where I'm going with
Yeah,
this
I'm waiting for this.
is that we happen to know that after your first Seth up with the matchmaker, you've been on other podcast-related Seth ups. And I don't want you to talk about them specifically because that's private for people, but how are you feeling about using that as an entry point to dating?
Fine. It's at this point, it's beggars can't be choosers. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but you still are so choosy.
I know. And so broke.
It's crazy because you don't pay rent. You live in our home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
The best thing about the Seth Up is it's going to be a good human being. No question. Someone is going to recommend someone they know and trust and like.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be an easy, breezy situation. They're going to be nice. It's not going to be awkward.
And you're not going to be like, ooh, before I went to that date, I was afraid I was being catfished.
That is out of the picture.
good.
Yeah.
That feels positive.
That's good.
It's definitely not a catfish situation. So yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm really proud of you for doing that because we were talking about what's changed and you said nothing. But actually, when we first started the podcast, you were terrified of going on these.
Terrified of going on them. I've been on multiple Seth Ups, but they're just not. They're not my fave.
I'm trying to give you a compliment here, Seth. You're growing, you're changing, you're learning.
I'm sorry. I was just so taken aback by it. I'm just. I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Why aren't they your fave? Just because of the pressure
It's not the pressure.
of letting someone down?
It's not so much the pressure of letting someone down.
It's the feeling of accountability that somebody's actually.
Thanks for taking the Meghan position here.
I think that's Ryan from Temecula's position.
It's a matter of I don't want anybody to be hurt. I don't want anybody to get upset if there's not really a connection, if not really a match. I don't want there to be an awkward situation if a good friend has introduced me to someone. They're like, well, what's wrong with Becky? Becky was great. You should be saying Becky.
But I think everybody understands.
You should have kept seeing Becky. She was great.
Everybody understands what is going into a setup, and they're doing it because they're hoping for the best, but nobody assumes that every setup is going to end up in a marriage.
I get it. I'm not opposed.
The Seth Up's going to be the answer because, as I've said in the past, if anyone has heard the podcast and is still interested,
God help them. God bless them.
Look how much we've got out of the way. So many of your red flags have already been presented, and if they're still like, yeah, okay, I mean, that's as good a chance as we're going to have.
Sure. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
Solved. You been on any dates this week?
I have, as it turns out. I have.
Yeah, kind of like a distant stare.
You've been on so many dates this week.
No, I haven't. We've talked about this. There's fatigue, and
Meg
I'm
just
counting
counted
the
on
number
her
of
hand.
dates
She almost went to a second hand.
this is abjectly false.
You had 3.
No, 4. No, I don't know. I think only 2 actually. Yeah, what's today?
So you have 1 today and 1 tomorrow.
If Meghan was actively involved in like actually managing it, not a matchmaker, but a manager. If you had a personal manager for your dating life and it was Meghan, she would have this taken care of immediately. If you listen to everything and follow the instructions.
This is what I said to Seth today at lunch. While we were getting brunch or you were somewhere else.
Yeah, because you guys have a full thing without me.
Yeah.
I'm not around. You guys do your own thing.
I said to Seth, I think if on the first date you can have a conversation with someone and you're like, oh, that was a fun conversation, you should go on a second date. Seth said if you don't feel immediate sparks, you shouldn't go on a second date.
We have the whole sparkometer thing. That's the thing.
I know, but when we started Sparkometer, the intention was that it was like there's the immediate attraction plus other things.
It's an amalgamation.
It's not. It's very heavily weighted towards physical attraction. And my push is that if you get to 3 dates, 3rd date, you know if somebody's a good match for you.
Yeah, because we're already in Aspen.
Just see
I was
somebody.
late to that.
If there's no it factor, come on, work with me. Don't
Wrong.
shake your head.
I think the foundation of a partnership is different than the foundation of like a 3-month fling.
No, I
And you've
I
gotta
don't
be
disagree.
looking for partnership.
I don't disagree, but you need to be attracted to your partner.
I think, in my opinion, you need both, right?
Yes.
You need the attraction, which I'll call the spoon, and you need the having everything in common, which I'll call the fork. So I think we should really start using the sporkometer.
How long have you been working on Sporkometer? He hasn't listened to the last 10 minutes of the podcast because he's doing Spork.
If you would just, he's incapacitated.
Negative 50.
No. That is so good.
So, you went on a date this week.
Met her on Bumble, which is not anybody's favorite. But
Okay.
the thing about Bumble is it works quickly.
Yeah, your concierge meets
And
their
that
concierge.
is what many people say is the key to a happy relationship.
Quick.
speed.
Quickness.
Yeah.
started texting almost immediately, which I love. She texted me, "Hey, hate the apps. Here's the phone number. Here's my phone number," which
Okay.
I absolutely love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect.
And it wasn't Tub Girl, because that's also what she says.
Tub Girl is blocked.
I have to tell you that I spent so much time this week using Google Lens to try and backward trace the different photos that she sent you to find out who it actually was.
I was talking with a friend of mine and told her about Tub Girl,
Yeah.
and she tried doing the
Doesn't
The
turn
reverse
up.
image shirt.
and then
search.
she was like, "I think I know this person," and then started sifting through like a bunch of Instagram pages, and she's like, "Could be her, maybe it's her." And then I've got 2 different pictures of her, and she's like, "This isn't the same person." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you."
Yeah.
It's like when George pretends that his wife was a model,
Right.
and then
So-
that's me. What do you like about the profile?
Attractive
Oh,
lawyer.
an attractive lawyer. Okay.
Works remotely. She has a hybrid thing. Have to like 2 days in the office, 2 days at in the real world, or doing her own thing, which is amazing. So that blends well with my schedule.
So a hybrid. So like putting 2 things together that both work well
Go on.
and combining them into one.
Such as.
Escort. Sorry, I thought that was fun. No, come on.
All right.
Oh boy, that was great.
Have a fun edit.
Jumped on a FaceTime within within a day or so.
Is it always FaceTime? Have we talked about this? Is it ever like a Zoom or a...
She almost always FaceTime.
It's FaceTime. Everybody's got an Apple product.
Well, but this is a thing. So this is
Don't.
actually a red flag. Is that when you start messaging with people and then they give you their number and it goes to a green messaging, 90% of the time it's a fake profile or bot or a Google
This
number.
is so intolerant. Your bias against greens.
No, stop it. I just 2
No,
days
stop
ago.
It. This is a legitimate thing.
2 days ago,
The
I got
Justice Department is
No.
looking into it.
I'm messaging with what I thought was a human.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
All right, so she's a hot lawyer.
A very attractive lawyer.
Okay.
FaceTime, so easy, so smooth, great conversation. We make plans for like 2 days later.
What is your conversation? Because I have a question.
It's very just getting to know you.
Is a hot lawyer a good fit for you? You've dated several hot lawyers and it doesn't work out. I think because maybe they're like more analytical and serious than you are.
You don't think I'm analytical or serious?
No.
Lawyers can be fun.
Yeah, we know a couple fun lawyers, but they're not always.
I think most of the lawyers we know are pretty fun. I would say that.
Okay. All right.
There, I said it.
All right.
A lot of the lawyers I know are very fun.
Almost everyone listening is a lawyer.
I was just going to say that sometimes I go to the store and I'm like, ooh, that smart pantsuit looks so sophisticated. I'm going to buy it. But guess what? I don't look good in a smart pantsuit. I don't go anywhere where I need a smart
beg
pantsuit.
to differ.
So my point being that you are a really fun guy who you're also really smart. So yeah, you can get along with these like really smart people, but also maybe more fun is better.
Okay. So we have a great FaceTime.
Okay.
We talk about just little stuff. Where are you from? How'd you wind up in LA? This, that, and the other. Blah, blah, blah. It's
Where's
just-
she from? How'd she wind up in LA?
She's a Florida girl.
You know, we like Florida Girls, the TV show.
Were you having the FaceTime in our guest room?
Oh, no, car.
Car.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that's
I was
weird.
driving. Why was that weird?
Car.
Well, it's dangerous, number one. But number two, if I were the girl, I would be like, I don't think you really set aside time for me.
What
Don't.
was she doing? Was she in a...
She was at home.
She was at home. You're in the car.
Like, how are you even looking at her while you're driving?
I got the little holder thing on the dashboard.
How are you looking at the road?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm looking at the road. I'm not. I mean,
I'm concerned.
okay.
I don't think it's a good. I
I'm
don't think
concerned.
it's good.
Okay.
I have concerns.
Okay. Good. Noted.
If this date goes sour, I think it was your fault because you FaceTimed in the car.
Okay. Good to know. So the call's on a Tuesday. We make plans for that Friday. She's off. I think she works Tuesday. She's in the office Tuesday, Thursdays.
What kind of law are we practicing? Do we know that? Or we talk about it?
She does criminal defense.
Oh, that's cool.
This is different.
Yeah.
See, this is different.
cool.
I
Very
mean-
funny people in criminal defense.
Is she a expensive lawyer for criminals or is she a
Public
state appointed?
Public defender.
Oh, really?
So she got stories,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
and I got stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff. You're both talking about
Things up butts.
Things up butts.
We're trying to figure out if she's represented any of the patients that I.
Oh,
that
that's fun.
we have to
Okay.
clear patients all the time for booking.
Yeah.
So they come in and
So
My friend was a nurse, and she said that it's so sad because people like come in a coma or like out of their, they're like messed up, and then they get handcuffed to the bed frame.
oh yeah.
They come to, and they're like, oh shoot.
What's more, it's also they just come in fully shackled. I mean, like multiple federal guards, wrists, something around the neck, the shackles on the legs. I mean, it is creepy.
I'm picturing you two trying to have this conversation where you're coming up with people that you would have in common, and it gets close, and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, HIPAA," and she's like, "Yeah, attorney-client privilege." So
we're safe.
Conversation's over.
So we never actually tried to, for that exact reason, we never actually tried to make sure. We just joked about it.
Jokes.
That's
yeah,
fun.
Jokes.
Yeah.
She's a
She's
funny
funny.
lawyer.
She's a
Funny
She's a
defense
funny,
lawyer.
Funny defense
public
lawyer.
defender.
We go get coffee.
Where'd you go?
We went to just a coffee bean, which
Oh,
was fine.
okay.
Which was fine. It's near her.
You're not putting a lot of effort into this one.
It's near her place. She was gonna go straight from there to her Pilates class, which was like two doors down.
I like Pilates.
I like Coffee Bean.
Oh, yeah, we do like
We like Coffee Bean.
I'm not anti. I'm not anti
What'd
at
she
all.
get?
She had a latte.
Okay, what'd you get?
I had a chai, which was
Really good, sweet.
delicious.
Oh yeah, you got to go half powder with the Coffee Bean chai, otherwise it's just too much.
It's over the top.
What kind of milk did she have in her latte?
I couldn't tell you what kind of milk she had in her
What?
latte.
What's she wearing? Sparkometer.
On way to Pilates, workout gear.
Okay, good.
There's
Like what? Hair up, hair down?
hair up for sure. I don't know. Ola. What's that?
Aloe.
Aloe, sure. I think full gear. She looked great. And this is a great date. In general, I think a coffee date. The weather. It's Southern California. It's summer. It's
Initial
beautiful.
Sparkometer.
4-4.
4-4.
Okay.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah,
We had a delightful time. Great conversation.
great.
It was sort of we had like a 90-minute window before she had to get to Pilates, so we had a timestamp, which
Good.
can be
Yeah,
good
smart.
for
Uh-huh.
this.
Smart for her, for sure.
For sure. She doesn't have to plan an emergency
and
exit.
she can also be like, "Oh, you know what? It's actually at 11:15."
Well, I'll get the next one. It's fine. So, really, a nice time. Just a pleasant interaction with a very smart, very intelligent, beautiful woman. It was just nice.
I don't know why it's never occurred to me before, but we're all relatively outgoing. Like all three of us can sit in a new place and like strike conversation. What if you are a person who's not? You can't do that, and you have to go on these dates. Like the idea of showing up at a coffee bean to meet a stranger for 90 minutes could be terrifying.
It is for thousands and
Oh.
thousands and thousands of people.
Well, that breaks my heart too, because then you're, as a dater, automatically writing these people off because you're like, the conversation wasn't good, which is fair, but also so unfair because that's like a whole untapped group of people who are lovely people and are just not.
Sure, that's what I'm looking for is an introvert, shy, quiet.
No, you
Yeah.
don't even have to be introverted, right? To just not
No,
thrive
it's not.
in
That's
those situations.
that's the wrong adjective.
It's a good idea for an app, just like the socially anxious dating app, where just everyone is like sitting across from each other being awkward, and they're like, "God, I've never felt better."
All right, so you
Good.
have a great time.
Great time. It was really nice.
Did you think at all about saying, "Should I join you at Pilates?"
No,
You like to do Pilates.
I did it. One of my dearest and closest friends was an amazing instructor, had an amazing studio in Austin, and man, it's a great workout.
It's a great workout.
It's a great, and it's good for me to mix things up a little bit too.
Sure.
I would definitely do that as a date with someone.
Do you join Pilates?
We did join Pilates for our 8th anniversary.
Something like that. Yeah.
well, that's the 8th anniversry. It's,
yeah.
it's paper.
The gift is a reformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really went well.
Okay.
Was hoping, that maybe this would turn into a 2-part episode.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, it's Friday. When do I reach out again? Let's see if we
Okay.
can move on to a drinks or a dinner or something
Yeah.
more of a traditional date.
Okay.
All right.
The next day, she texted, and to Anonymous's point, had a really nice time. Don't see a future at all here.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe I was right about the pantsuit.
But what the
You
hell
think
is the
Seth
point of
shouldn't
that?
have worn the pantsuit?
I look great in a pantsuit.
What the hell is the point
Of-
of?
Her texting that. Just if I reach out to a couple days later, whatever, and say, hey, what are you doing? Let's blah blah blah. Let's try to meet up again. Blah blah blah. And she ghosts, or she's at that point, then she says, not interested. Fine. But what is the point of going out of your way to just
preemptive.
Oh, disagree completely. You're sitting at home and you're going to maybe spend time thinking about what to text her back, spend time thinking about if you should schedule a second date with her, where you would go. She's saying, don't save yourself the time. Like, you seemed lovely, but there's not a future here.
And she's also saying, save me the time. Like,
Yeah.
like, one thing that I can never get past is juggling all the phone numbers and text conversations you're a part of in this.
Sure.
And she's saying, well, I can just get rid of
That's
this
me.
one, and you can too.
Respect.
We don't
Fine.
have to do that.
I get that, but she owes me nothing. I owe her nothing.
Right.
If she's not interested and I reach out, then sure, hey, you seem really nice, but I'm not seeing it. There's no reason for her to do that preemptively.
Would you have preferred her right after?
No, I
Like, you
would've-
guys get up and you're saying goodbye, and she's like, thanks, but no thanks.
Neither.
Neither.
Just
you just want to
let
be
it
twisting in the
let
wind.
it
That-
fade away.
I think that might be a fundamental problem because
Yes.
I think intentional dating means that it's like a job interview. You're going to be like, is this a match? It's not a match.
But you don't have to let them know.
But why? It's so rude to me not to let them know.
I think you have thicker skin than most.
True.
And you care less than most, and you're less invested than most. So I think for you, you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I text her, she texts me, like, piss off. Like, I don't care. But I think a lot of people would spend the weekend or whatever thinking about it and maybe being excited and working up the nerve to text, and then it hurts more to have actually started, planning their life together over the weekend.
But this is like we had that date from however many episodes ago who woke up at 5 a.m. to text me.
Hell yeah.
That was too much.
That was
That was too
mean.
much.
That was a meaner.
But this I actually think it is very polite and respectful of you to be like, I'm not interested. You said you felt like it went great. You really liked her. Maybe she sensed that. And she was like, oh, I am having a different reaction to this date than he is. He's really into this. I better let him know that I'm not into it.
Fine, but again, if she's misreading that and I don't reach out, problem solved. The problem takes care of itself. All you have to do is nothing. If I do reach out, then sure, hey, you seem really nice. Really not seeing much more than just a lovely coffee. Fine, great, no problem, thick skin. But there's no need to do a preemptive, we're not together. We went out one time for coffee.
Did it hurt your feelings?
No.
Based on the way she interacted with you, you were surprised?
I was surprised. I thought for sure there'd be at least a second date or something. Or
Because it was good conversation. You guys are laughing and having fun.
Yeah.
Meg's got something.
Oh,
Well, I
boy.
just wondered if ever someone might mix up the text and send that to the wrong person. You can't go back on that if you mix up the text.
I mean,
tough.
good story.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I thought you were someone else. Wrong text. Can we hang? That's pretty great. Do you ever think that's you arrive, she sees you, is like doing some measurements and is like, this is a no?
Not 5'10".
Is she? How tall is she?
not tiny. She's 5'1", 5'2".
Doesn't rule it out.
Well within her right to do that. If she's not attracted, if she's not interested, because there's no spark.
Well, I would tell her 3 dates, and
Oh.
then you'll know.
Okay.
But what did you say back?
I didn't.
You ghosted her breakup with you?
Why would I even bother to reply? I don't know this woman. I owe her nothing. She owes me nothing.
Because it's a grown-up thing to do. It's a grown-up thing to do to be like, text received. I mean, they tell us all the time in our agencies, received, thanks.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys still have agents?
Yeah.
Technically.
Man, I don't know how you guys do it. I really
The
don't.
3 people sitting here, the 2 of us definitely have the most admirable jobs.
I hung out with a lot of people in the movie, television, entertainment industry in the last month or so,
Cool.
and they're all wringing their hands with nothing to do, and
Yeah.
it's like my heart is breaking for everybody.
And you can date as many of them as you want.
Actually, this is like after the housing market crash. You could like go in and scoop up broken actresses who used to have steady incomes and now are like, I just need a nice guy to take me to dinner.
Well, that's pretty much the most feminist thing I think has been said on the podcast.
I'm getting off these freaking apps as soon as humanly possible.
What if instead you dated with intention?
I am dating with
intention.
intention. I am only seeing people that I am interested in dating.
So if you're gonna get off the apps, if you don't find the person, what is the plan to find the person?
And people have dated for a long time before these apps existed. I dated for a long time before these apps existed. You gotta get back to Get the
walking the dogs. You gotta
Sure.
just get a dog.
Dating with intention means knowing what you want.
I know what I want.
What do you want?
Not 100% sure.
Yep. Have a clear understanding of your standards, including the type of person you want to be with and the qualities they should possess. Well, that was on Upward Christian Dating Center. Okay, here's a better one.
No, wait, that was interesting. That was a chart about needs versus wants. You need...
Mutual companionship. You want attractive facial features. This is a real graphic.
Interesting. So, okay. You need something that can scoop, but you want something that can also stab.
Wait. Such object does not exist.
Happy 1 year anniversary, everybody.